Hello, everybody. Guess what? I got an Edison deck profile for the channel for now. Look, I'm joined by lovely Roghnach. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are
What
you?
What did you do, and why are we talking about it today?
Well, David, I won Irish Nationals Edison event yesterday.
Woo!
Sure, I did, and
Fabulous.
I did. Yeah, and it was 22 people, and
Nice.
there's people from all over Ireland who came. They played all kinds of decks, and I knew maybe half the people who were there.
Yeah.
Half the people I had never met before, so they were lovely to meet.
Oh, nice. Very
People-
good.
Yeah, and they came from Belfast, they came from Armagh, they came from I forget where else, but various places all over the country.
Brilliant.
And of course, they had been in the Irish Discord. So I'm sure if anyone wants to join the Discord, there will be a link to
Yeah,
join.
yeah. I'll throw in the
Great
link. I'll
place
throw in the
to.
link to the deck, the list as well, if that's all right with you.
Sorry?
I'll throw a link in to the list as well
Oh, yeah,
into the
that too.
description. Yeah, yeah, we'll do all the fancy stuff.
Hmm.
And channels, and you've an Edison. There's an Edison Discord as well, right?
There is. Yeah,
In
yeah.
general,
So if you remind me, I'll give you the link to that as
yeah,
well.
because you're
And
like the probably the most well-known Irish Edison player, right?
I suppose maybe you're right.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, yeah, and also what I was going to say is that it was a special event because we've been holding it for 2 years in a row now,
yeah.
or 3 years actually. So Stephen Byrne won it the first year, Mark Aguijar won it the second year,
Yep.
and this year we had a stream, which is very cool because Daniel Neville was good enough to put it on
Which is
for us, and
amazing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That'll be
it's
on
very
the
cool.
the Team Currybrose site, right? I think so.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
it
he's
will be.
storing the VOD, so that'll be cool.
That's right, but it's already available to be viewed on his Twitch channel, so
Yes.
you
Yeah, yeah,
can
yeah.
already watch the VOD there.
Yeah. Irish
And
Decks. Yeah, yeah. Awesome.
yeah,
And what else did you do that was unique? You played Modern.
yeah, for the very first time in a long time, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
haven't
You
played the
played
game.
Nats. This was your first Nats, which is wild because I see you at every single. I see
Yeah,
you at all of them.
yeah, that's true. And I'd never played in actual Irish nationals before. Like I'd
Yeah,
gone to them, I'd played like whatever side events, or just like had games with people on the side unofficially, or like traded or whatever.
yeah.
But this time I was actually in the main event, and I'd actually did pretty all right.
Did pretty well. Yeah. Was it
Mm.
X2 X or
Yeah, X2 won because
X2
it was
one?
a draw as well. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So that's still a fantastic record for someone who usually goes with the time wizard format, right? So, uh,
Yeah.
do you want to go into matchups or do you want to go into deck profile? What do you want to do first?
I suppose both. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's talk about the deck a little bit because this is a you might see a couple of cards here and there in this list that it's on the screen by the way, isn't it?
Yeah, I can
Is
see
it
it. Yeah,
all
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, and there's a couple cards there that are a little bit unusual. So I'll talk about those in particular
Perfect.
because for the most part, it has a bit of the bones and the DNA of a like a standard Frognarch list, but it's
Mhm.
just a little bit more pointed. I would say it's a little bit more aggressive, and that's kind of the idea of it. Is that it's just there to grind back and forth and do some chip damage with Swap Frog and Enemy Controller and Caius. And I'm sure if you've played Frognarchs before, and I think maybe you have actually, David.
I think I have.
You
I think
have, maybe you have.
I think I might have stolen one of your older lists. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you might have actually. Yeah, 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 that's true. So if you have, then you've probably had the experience where you've just knocked them in the face with 2400s and stolen their guy, punched them in the face with it, and done some chip damage with Swap Frog, all these kinds of things. So it
Mhm.
really, in that way, has just frogs in general have a pretty good damage output in terms of chip damage. So what this does as well is it gives you some extra finishing moves to get that extra damage when you're in the mid to late game and you just want to clean it up, finish it out, and well, that's really it. So what, for example, we have is cards like Lava Golem,
Yeah.
and on their own, it doesn't necessarily seem like it makes a whole lot of sense because it conflicts with the normal summons of frogs.
Mhm.
It's a deck that it's famous for just having a monarch summon every turn
Yeah.
and clearing away the monsters. And if they have two monsters on board, you wouldn't really necessarily be expecting to throw a lava golem at them. You might actually just be taking them with enemy controller or
Mm.
blowing them up with dark dust spirit or whatever else you'd be doing with them. But in this case, it has some really cool synergies, which is to say that you put a lava golem on the board, and that makes all of the spells that we have capable of just suddenly doing a whole lot of damage out of nowhere.
Because you can
And this
steal them.
was, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
I
So
love
like
this
brain
approach. I
control.
love it.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever used Lava Golem in a deck before, but
Yeah, no,
it's
I would use it a lot in Cashier mostly. I
oh
think.
you do actually.
Yeah, yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's a good one. It's a good card. I mean, like, get rid of two bodies off the board. I let them do whatever
Yeah,
they want, and yeah, it's really really solid.
true.
Like, I can see the synergy though. Like, I know obviously you want to summon a monarch every turn, but I think being able to get rid of two of their monsters, which usually requires a fair bit of investment, and then just steal it back and attack for 3k, not bad.
Yeah, exactly. So that's one of the ways, and for sure. Well, I was talking to a guy from Modern Format. Actually, he came 22nd, and he actually was
Yeah.
playing Lava Golem in his deck because it was 2,500 defense for Genesis, and I thought that was kind of
Oh,
cool.
nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very
Yeah,
good.
it's still around after all this time, and it's actually still doing really cool things.
It does, yeah.
But yeah, and that goes to show that if it's good in Modern Format, typically you can eventually find some older format where it's just as good,
Yeah.
or at least comparable. So that's definitely the case in here, where I would just be randomly out of nowhere, just like he would be, the opponent would be like with a hamster and a Raikou or something, and you'd be feeling really safe, and I'd just throw a Lava Golem at him, swap it with Creature Swap, punch him for 29, and suddenly he has to deal with a 3k beater, and he was feeling really safe. Now he can't Caius anymore, and now he has to construct a new board out of nowhere, and he's way down in life points. So that was happening. And also compulsory, very cool with Lava Golem, put it back to the hands.
Mm.
Very cool with Monarchs, put them back to the hands, dodge all the things, keep the Monarch train coming, and also just do really good chip damage with it, because it's kind of like it's just a good tempo card in that
Mm.
sense, because once you have beaters on the board and you use compulse, then you keep the damage going.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if you were watching the finals match, but that's actually something that came up. Is I opened a whole bunch of traps, and I had no monarchs, I had no frogs, I had no way to do anything, and all I could do was just creature
Bounce
swap
them.
my goat token to get his gear frame and keep punching him with it. And the compulse, I was like throwing away a -1 just to put his monster back and do another 18 just so I could get him in range for a game and hopefully top deck into some kind of way to do the final damage. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. And I was able to draw the perfect thing, bring control plus Caius, simply because I was able to set myself up for doing that final damage.
Brilliant. No, I haven't actually watched this. I didn't get to watch the final, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, well it's
Yeah.
up there for anyone in the comment section to view. And if we forget to put it up, then
Oh no,
just drop it.
I'll make sure to put it up. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It,
it'd be
it'll
great.
be because it's really interesting to see the deck in action. You know, that's all, I think
Yeah,
that's always a fantastic,
absolutely. And also the
especially when you're
commentary
early
was
on.
fantastic. The I
Sorry.
enjoy the commentary from Cormac Adams and from Vlad, very
Awesome.
famous Irish Yu-Gi-Oh players. I'm
Yeah,
sure even if you're not viewing this from Ireland and you're not involved in Irish Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm sure you probably know those names pretty well.
they're good eggs. They're very good
Mm.
eggs. That's awesome. Anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, a couple other things, I suppose. Well, the Magic Cylinder certainly stands out there. I'm sure people might want to know about that too. So, of
Yeah.
course, that's there with the Lava Golem. With the concept of just being able to throw a bunch of damage at them in the mid to late game, it's just cool to be able to protect your board, do a bunch of damage to them, especially against like a Caius or an Armed Wing or anything that's like really abnormally large,
Hmm.
and throw a whole lot of damage at them. But the cool thing is also that it keeps the monster on board, and that sounds like obviously a bad thing in and of itself, but you actually want them to have monsters on board
Because
just so you can.
you want to take them or swap them or yeah, yeah, or use them
Yes, exactly.
for brain control, soul exchange. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and Lava Golem too.
I've seen
So
the
it's like,
vision. I see the vision here.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
totally.
which is great.
It's all coming together. Yeah, so that's basically it. I suppose Des Frog as well is just a bigger frog, so you can do more chip damage and have more tempo again with the compulses and stuff, do more
Mm.
damage every turn. So it's basically like that. Of course, I should mention it would be wrong for me not to mention this is that I just totally forgot to put in the last cards that are missing there,
Yeah.
which is not that's not me like messing up the deck list here at home. This is me what I was playing yesterday because I had come from the main event and my main deck was my deck for the main event, I should say, was Primate Cyframe, and that required me to play.
I'm sorry.
Well,
That
actually,
was your main deck. That
It
was
was indeed, yeah, yeah.
Oh my god, I didn't know that. I assumed you were playing, I don't know, like Mitsu Rising or something. What the okay.
Oh god, no.
Oh my
You
gosh.
know me, I can never play a normal thing that everyone else
I
plays.
didn't
That's
know
just the
that.
way I
Yeah,
am.
yeah. Oh my god. We should be talking about
Yeah.
that as well. Holy shit. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, we could actually, well, maybe that could be a separate video, but in any case, um, I'll give you 3 guesses as to what the mystery card was that I was playing in my actual modern deck.
Oh my god. In your wait, you were playing it in your modern deck.
That's right.
Okay, was it
It's a
Feather?
secret.
What, Feather Duster?
So from the extra deck, there's 1 card missing there, and it
Uh,
is a card that I just forgot to put back into my deck before I entered the Edison event.
what would
We
you
didn't
put
have deck lists, so I didn't have to submit any
in the
lists.
extra
That's why.
deck? In the extra deck.
Yeah,
In Cyframe Primite.
yeah,
Oh my god. So it must be a level 8 of some kind, is it? Let
it
me
is. Yeah.
Star no Stardust? No Stardust there?
Yes, that's right.
Wow, oh my god, I'm good at this. I'm locked in here.
Not bad at all. Pretty good.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was purely because of the Excel Stardust, so I had to have it in my
Yeah, yeah.
list. Yeah.
Very cool.
That worked out very well for me all day, actually. Yeah, it's great, but I just forgot to put it back in. In the end, this deck doesn't have any tuners, so I only synchro summoned once by stealing a tuner and made Goyo Guardian once. So I
Yeah.
could have had just the 1 card in the extra deck, and it would have worked exactly the
You
same.
still gotta have the utility options. Yeah, yeah. I think I see that
Yeah,
a lot with these kind of decks. You know, where there's no, they don't seem to have any reasonable way of making it. But also, Gale is a tuner. Don't forget that. I mean,
that's true as well. I actually
yeah.
just didn't really come to Sidon Gale. I didn't face any Blackwings, actually. That's what it was.
Ah, yeah.
That I sided that in 4 Blackwings. Actually, let's see if you can guess why. Let's because you're putting stuff
It's a
together pretty
half
well. So
attack,
you
right?
need
It's
to
that it just well, it does the half attack. But what else does it do? On the second.
see if you control a Blackwing, you special summon it. But there's a couple of reasons.
From your hand.
You might get some.
You control Blackwing monster other than Blackwing Gale or Whirlwind. Oh, so hang on. I get it. I see it now. Yeah, so I'm seeing the vision again. So you steal a Blackwing from them, and then you get a free special summon on your side,
Yeah, that's one of the reasons.
right?
Absolutely. There's
Um,
another cool way.
and it's a dark, so you can use it with Caius, I guess, to
Um,
make them burn for 1,000.
well, that's if you banish it from their field. You
Oh,
wouldn't really
sorry.
be
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
banishing it
Okay,
from
yeah,
them.
yeah. That's fair. Let me
But
see.
there's definitely another cool reason.
Okay. I am out of guesses. I think, or I think I'm mentally out of guesses. I can't think. I can't think of what it
Okay,
is.
I'll tell you.
What is it?
It's that if you steal their Shura and
Okay.
you like with an enemy controller, run over their Bora or something like that, then that's one way. But the best way to do it is to creature swap them a Treeborn in attack mode and run over it with Shura, and you get to special summon the Gale from the deck and synchro summon for Armor Master in the main phase 2 after having done 3,000 damage to their face. So that's really, really
Oh,
super
nice.
powerful against
Okay.
them.
I need to go reread
Yeah.
Armor Master. Okay. There's this. Yeah. So, oh, then you just have an armor. You just have a. Where's your Armor Master? Oh, yeah, there. Sorry.
What deck do
Okay,
you play
nice.
in Edison, actually? I'm wondering.
I would be on. I think I've got a Hero Beat, and I still need to build Black Wings. I'm missing Black Whirlwind. I was talking to you about that before, but
Mm,
I have Hero Beat, and I think uh, maybe Diva Hero as well. I think were the two I was looking at.
mm,
I'd like the parts of a lot of different ones, and then like a lot of the side deck cards I would have. But then I'm still missing some of the fundamental ones. Like I'd be missing a Substitute. Otherwise, I could probably build this pretty straightforwardly. I think you know.
mm. Oh, you were saying that actually. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's just a matter of putting the pieces together. You know, like I always have a goat deck ready, and I had a plant synchro deck ready because of one of the YCSs. That their event was plant synchro, or Tengu plant. Sorry, Tengu plant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I can take the pieces out of Tengu plant and build something like that.
Sure.
My big favorite deck is gadgets and machina, so I have to see if I can conjure up something like that. I'm pretty sure you can in this
You
format,
can.
right?
And
Yeah,
actually, this year, Gadgets had its best year in a very long time
yeah.
because it was Solidarity and specifically Horn of Heaven. There's been a
I love
lists
Horn of
that have
Heaven.
been really, yeah,
Right.
doing really well this year randomly out of nowhere. So I'd say if you join the tournament next year with that list, you might have a fairly good chance,
Yeah.
I'd say.
I'll have to figure out. I'll have to get all the QCRs like Billy Siggins has as well.
God, yeah, that'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be very nice to have the shiniest
Hmm.
stick in the room. But yeah, that's very cool.
And one more thing is that missing from the side deck, I couldn't figure out what it was before I started the event, and I was looking through my list, and I was like, "Oh my god, what is the card? Did I put it somewhere else, or did I just leave it at home?" It turns out it was the second copy of Soul Exchange that was supposed to be in the side, and I just never noticed the whole day. So I just went around with a 14 card side deck and a 41 card main deck, and that's the way it was in round one. So you're honor bound to keep it that way for the
Yeah,
rest of the
yeah,
tournament.
which is fair. I mean, yeah, Scout's honor, and okay, that's why it's 41. Okay, I assumed there was some other reason, but like you don't. Yeah, there's no. There's no draw power isn't necessarily. So yeah, okay,
No,
and there's
and it's a good
nothing
thing, by the way,
something
that
that's a
people
break
didn't
either.
ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people didn't never ask me, like, how many cards are in your list, because if they asked me that, I would have told them 40 because I thought it was 40.
Oh no.
Yeah, sure look, it's always good to
Well, you'd
double
have
check,
figured
I
out
suppose.
you'd have figured it out after the first round, I'd say, right? You know.
Actually, it was only after the tournament that I figured out, "Oh, that's what was happening." I was drawing Soul Exchange all day, and I was wondering about
Mm.
that. That was crazy.
Or maybe it might make a normal change now.
Yeah, I'd say, like, I might put that one back in the side deck, but there's a
Ah,
couple
okay.
other cool cards that you could put into the list, which are cards that I have tested around with before, that are good for the stabby kind of, concept of it. And
Yeah.
actually, before I mention them, do you remember a list called Aggro Bomb from 2007? Do you ever remember learning about that?
No, I did not.
Well, it's a very classic concept, and it's definitely something that a lot of people are very fond of. And Mega Capital G, he made a cool video about it a couple of years ago. The guy who topped with it, his name was Justin Womack
Okay.
in 2007. I think he was like 15 years old or something at the time, and he had a completely novel concept that no one else was thinking about. He had like lilies, and he had dimension walls, and he had gold, the Dark World plus Dark World Lightning. So it was incredibly aggressive. He had like Trooper plus duplication, brain controls all over the place, Jinzo, and all these cards that throw away advantage just to do more damage to the opponent in like a sudden rush turn, and it was incredible. And I think it got to like either top four or top eight in some SJC or something like that
Crazy.
back in the day. And it just inspired a lot of people to make similar concepts and to kind of not be so dogmatic about the idea of card advantage as the central idea of the deck, or necessarily that it has to be control deck, or that it has to have all these staples, or that you can't just go into the card pool and dig up all these random cards that are just so aggressive.
I think it takes the innocence of a child to come up with something like that, right? Because
Absolutely.
you'd be too focused on big braining. So that's yeah, that's actually really interesting. Because like
Yeah.
I would be very much a focus on hand advantage kind of person. I'm like, oh no, but like I don't want to be getting rid of my hand. But I'm like, but your opponent's dead. It doesn't matter. Like
That's exactly it.
that's the end goal, right? The end goal is not actually hand advantage. The end goal is to kill your opponent. So like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's that's so funny. So are you working on a like an updated concept of it?
Yeah, always all the time. I have like on my dueling book accounts. If you scroll through my deck constructor, and maybe I'll make a video about that someday or whatever, and I'll show just all the lists that I have, every single concept I have. This is called Burn Frog. So I have like Burn Frog 1A, Burn Frog 1B, all the way to like 1Z, and then it goes 2A, 2B, 2B, and then like it
Oh my
just
god.
keeps on going. So I always just make a new list for any time I have like one new card that I put into it. I'm like, okay, what are all the other different cards that could possibly be good with this card? That's what happened with Lava Golem. I was like, what is good with Lava Golem? Okay, creature swap, enemy controller, compulse, and I just put them all in one list and tested it out. And eventually, this one kind of rose above the others and performed quite
Nice.
well. Yeah. So the cards that I was mentioning that I was thinking about were Injection Fairy Lily. That's one
Hmm.
option because it's just very stabby. It's like suddenly out of nowhere. I had some very slow starts without frogs, so that helps in those scenarios.
Yeah.
It's very cool for beating over Kalut and Honest. Um, no need to like think too deeply necessarily. It's just the end goal is, or the end result is that it beats through Honest on your turn, and it also beats through Kalut because of just how the math works. So 34 is too big for Blackwing plus Kalut to defend against it. And also swapping it to the opponent could be funny or whatever. Like there's some cool things. Asura Priest is another one,
Yeah.
or
Yes.
even a bigger one
Black
called
arrow.
Sussa
Yeah.
Soldier, or however it's pronounced, like Susa Soldier or something probably.
Okay.
It's the 2000 attack one, is a spirit, and it's only there just because it can be swapped to them with creature swap, and then you can get it back in the end phase. So it's just a cool way to use
Oh,
creature swap.
I like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
same for
so
like Kinkabio.
I can see, yeah, I can see different visions around the same thing. Like I I think a journey into your mind would be a very fascinating thing uh,
Hmm.
to see how you approach it, because I think the way you approach the game is very, very interesting.
Thank
Um,
you.
I still remember from literally years ago, you were playing Ghost Trick,
Hmm.
and before anyone knew about Terror Top, Speedroid Terror Top, you were on Speedroid Terror Top, and I think you had maybe 100 of them picked up over the course of time, or at least a ton of them,
Yeah,
because it was a free rank three, and it seemed like you were the only person at the time who saw the vision for that card. And then
you're right.
eventually, obviously, it became really, really popular with Zoo and MX Saber Evoker and any like basically free rank three before you do anything. But like you were on that so early, so it's absolutely fascinating how your mind works on this stuff. I think it's
You
really,
remember
really
that
cool.
very well because I do remember an event that I went to in November of 2015.
Yeah,
Maybe it was December actually, and that was my heyday. That was my main modern format that I was playing at the time. And I summoned Terror Top all day. It was fantastic, amazing card for Ghost Tricks,
yeah.
but everyone had to read it. I was just shocked. I was like, this is just how are they not reading this
No
card
one pays
before, right?
attention to basically free rank three. Like,
Yeah.
before you commit to anything, it's insane. Yeah. Um, and like, because I was the same when I think when you did that, I was just like, this card is crazy. Like, you know, and I
Hmm.
think being able to see the value in cards like that before anyone else is such a huge skill. And I think you bring a lot to the game, and I would hope that you continue with modern as well, because I do like.
Mm.
I think it'd be amazing to see this Primite sci frame stuff. Like, I think
Yeah.
Watch Now is like this format just becomes like a legacy format at some point, and they find out that Mitsu Rising is not the best deck, Malice isn't the best deck. It was actually Cyframe Primite for some reason. Watch Now, that's what these things. That's how these things happen. They get refined upon. Um, Anything else? Any closing remarks?
Let me think. Well, I'm looking forward to more modern format, like you're saying.
Yeah,
It turns out that my deck is actually going to demolish the Yummy deck, which is kind of really, really funny. That'll be so randomly funny. It's
there we
just the
go.
Vanquish Soul will cause it problems, but maybe I can add the Canine cards for myself and just do something with that. I don't know. There's
Beautiful.
probably always a way to innovate something else that's new. And I suppose that's probably the main thing I want people to take away from a list like this that's a bit zany and a bit off the radar is that you can just make your own thing and refine it and just kind of test things out and especially use the DB ladder to
Hmm.
just how can I say this, like aim for a certain amount of rating and use that as your benchmark for how good the deck is. For me, I was aiming to get this list to 1,000 rating, and if it
Nice.
could surpass that, I was like, okay, that's probably a good indicator that it will be able to handle an event that I'll bring it to in person. And lo and behold, here I am talking to you about this deck that did exactly that.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think you've got a great coaching mindset, honestly, as well.
Well, thank you. I'm a teacher, so it comes
Love
with
it.
the territory.
Thanks so much for your time. I'm gonna click stop recording. Love it.
Thank you.